Saba's stories. The Queen of Water and the King of Fire. Once upon a time, in a faraway land, the Queen of Water and the King of Fire lived. They had two beautiful daughters, Linda and Sara. The Queen and the King had a magic stone in their palace that had many powers. Each member of the royal family had amazing power, and every time they touched the royal stone, their power became much stronger and multiplied. For example, the Queen could command all the waters and the King could control all the fires. The older girl could also dominate the plants and flowers and make everything green and flowery, but the younger girl had no special power and no change occurred when she touched the stone. That's why he was so sad. The King and Queen always gave more importance to their eldest daughter. The King and Queen kept that stone in a special place to protect themselves and the people of their land. That royal stone had created an invisible protection around their palace, which protected them and did not allow the magician to enter there. Outside the city in the forest lived a wizard who would do anything to gain power and destroy the royal stone. But in no way could he pass the invisible guard and enter the palace. Years passed and the princesses grew older and older. Princess Linda was always noticed by the King and Queen, but Princess Sara was always disappointed and withdrawn. One day, which happened to be Sara's birthday, she happily got up and went to the Great Hall. He expected that the Queen and the King had arranged a party for his birthday. But when he entered the hall, he saw that the King, the Queen, and Princess Linda were talking and laughing, and there was no sign of a party. Sara was very upset. He went to the secret door of the palace. Sometimes, when he was upset, he would leave the palace through this door and go for a walk in the forest. For hours he went from one side to the other in the forest and cried. Suddenly he found himself among strange trees. A strange sound caught his attention. He stopped crying. A number of wolves surrounded him. Now he didn't know how to save himself from there. He runs fast in the forest. His leg got stuck on a stick and he fell to the ground. One of the wolves attacked him. At this moment, a young man stopped the wolf and threw the wolf to the side. The rest of the wolves also ran away after seeing this scene. The young man helped Sara to get up from the floor. Then he asked Sara,
"Why did you come to the forest alone? This part of the forest is very dangerous."
Sara, who was speechless and very scared, told the whole story to the young man. The young man turned to the princess and said,
"Don't worry. I know what the solution is and what can help you."
Sara asked, "Well, please tell me how I can get out of this situation." The young man said,
"As I understood from your words, everything is the fault of that stone. If it were not for that stone and its forces, the King and Queen would not have made a difference between you and your sister and would have loved you as much as your sister. So you have to destroy that stone."
Sara said, "How? That stone is magical and no one can destroy it." The young man said,
"Don't worry. I have a solution for that too. On the other side of this forest is a volcanic mountain. It is enough to throw the stone in the mouth of the volcano and among the molten material. You just bring me that stone, leave the rest to me. I will take it to the mouth of the volcano and throw it in the volcano mountain. If you get rid of that stone, all your problems will be solved.
The prince turned to the young man and said,
I will bring you that stone tomorrow.
The young man also said he should go to meet him in the dark part of the forest and give him the stone. The prince noticed that the young man avoided the light of day and stayed in dark and shadowy areas. The prince returned to the palace. He spent the whole night thinking about how to remove the stone without anyone noticing. The next morning, when everyone was asleep, the prince went to the special place for the stone and took it and put it in the bag. Then, without anyone seeing him, he went out through the secret passage of the palace. The princess went to the forest. He was surprised to see that young man standing there waiting for him. He went forward and gave the stone to the young man. The young man also took the stone from him. As soon as he took the stone in his hand, he let out a loud laugh and changed shape. That young man was the sorcerer who had disguised himself in this way so that he could deceive the prince. The wizard took the stone and took all the powers. The King of Fire and the Queen of Water and Princess Linda found out that the stone was stolen and followed it to the forest and saw that the witch had arrested Princess Sara and the royal stone was in her hands. The queen turned to the witch and said,
Do not harm my daughter. Bring him back to us.
The magician laughed and said,
But this girl betrayed you and brought me the stone. I will destroy this stone now so that all of you will be destroyed.
The Fire King said,
But Sara is precious to us and our dear daughter. Although he made a big mistake by trusting you.
The witch pushed Princess Sara towards the king and queen and then laughed loudly and said,
Now none of you have any strength and you will perish easily.
The wizard threw the royal stone into a corner. The stone broke into several pieces. He pointed his wand at the king to destroy them. Sara, who was very regretful and upset about her actions, thought about how to defend her family members against the witch. He suddenly remembered that the witch avoided the light and walked in shadows. A thought came to his mind. He took out the small mirror he had with him and turned it towards the sunlight. He reflected the light towards the wizard and the light hit the wizard's eyes. The witch closed her eyes. Princess Linda also took advantage of the opportunity and with the little strength she had left, she threw a rope of branches and leaves at the witch and tied her hands. The Fire King also threw fire at the witch. Suddenly the witch disappeared. With each other's help, they were able to defeat the witch. Linda collected all the pieces of the royal stone and Sara found the last piece and stuck them together. The stone returned to its original state. Sara apologized to the others. The king and queen apologized to Sara for their lack of attention. They realized that anyone can do extraordinary things and it is not necessary to have magical powers. Now all the family members were gathered together and knew that each of them depended on each other and together they could overcome any problem.